So, we're building our first character in D&D. I'm excited as you guys are. But, it's not exciting a lone microphone on a dining room table with a beige backdrop. How about we go through some upgrades real quick? Alrighty, change of venue. Wanted something a bit more comfy, cozy, so we're at ease while we're building out our character. But before I get ahead of myself, let's take it from the top. Welcome back. I'm Sir Bearsworth, guiding creators, shaping worlds, and forging heroes. And in part one of this, we focused on creating a character, the idea of a character, the class, the background, the fantasy involved with it. In today's video, we're focused on building a character, your first character for D&D. All right, before we write anything down, let's do a quick walkthrough of the 2024 character sheet. It will tell us three things: who our character is, what they're good at, and how they can survive dangerous situations. I'm going to try and explain each of these boxes that you see on these pages before you and give you a quick overview of all of them so you have all the tools needed to get into building this character with at least a little bit more understanding under your belt. All right, let's take a look. At the top, we've got your character's basic information. Class, race, level, background, species. It's essentially your driver's license. You'll also see experience points or XP. This is just one way to level up in the game, whereas other tables focus more on big story moments being your level up opportunities. This is sometimes called milestone. As for now, you are just level 1. This area is all about survival. Armor class, or AC, is how hard it is to hit you. This is what enemies are going to be rolling against to see if they can strike you down. Hit points show how much damage you can take before you go down. And after you get smacked around for a little bit, hit dice is what you'll use to get some health back. Death saves come into play if you're unlucky enough to hit 0. This is where you get to find out whether you end up on the good or the bad side of this mortal coil. Your proficiency bonus represents training. Is your character trained in something? If so, you get to add a bonus to any rolls made with that. Heroic Inspiration is a bonus from the Dungeon Master. It's essentially a reward for doing something cool in the game. Now for ability scores. These 6 boxes here are the foundation of your character. Strength. Can you lift up a boulder or do you struggle to do a push-up? Dexterity. Can you move with finesse or are you plagued with 2 left feet? Constitution. Can you take a hit or does everything hurt? Intelligence. Do you know things or do you just guess confidently? Wisdom. Do you notice danger or just walk right into it? And charisma. Can you talk your way out of trouble or just make it worse? Each ability score will show 2 numbers. One big number showing your overall potential in that ability, and your modifier. That's the one that's going to be added to rolls, and that's the really important one. Inside each ability, you'll see a saving throw. These are defensive rolls. You'll make them when something bad happens, either a spell, a trap, poison, or environmental danger. Some saving throws your character is trained in, others not so much. Under each ability, you'll see skills connected to them. Skills represent common challenges your character might encounter out in the world. Sneaking, persuading, noticing danger. If your character is trained in a skill, you'll add your proficiency bonus. If not, you'll just add your ability modifier to it. Pretty simple. Skills don't give you new abilities by any means. They just make it more reliable for you to handle the things that you're already dealing with. Across the top, we have a couple of quick reference stats. Initiative is how fast you act when combat begins. Speed is how far your character can move in their turn. Size determines your carrying capacity and how much space you take up, and passive perception is how aware your character is when they aren't actively looking for something. This table is where you list the main actions your character can use in combat. Weapons, attacks, and basic spells all go here. This tells you how accurate you are and how much damage you do. Below that, we have our abilities, class features, species traits, and special abilities called feats. You get these either through your background or through advancement down the road. They tell you what makes your character unique. Finally, this section here tracks all that your character is trained in and what they're carrying. Armor, tools, weapons, all in one place. That's the whole first page. Once we know what each section does, it makes it a little bit easier to fill it out in the future. Now, we're going to jump over to page 2. This side's going to be more for our spellcasters and our story buffs, so hang in there, we'll wrap it up quick. If your character can cast spells, it'll live here. You'll find your spell casting ability, your spell save DC, as well as your spell attack bonus all listed here. This tells you how accurate you are and how difficult it is for enemies to resist your magical power. If your character does not have spells, you can ignore this entire section. No shame, no homework involved. Spell slots track how many spells you can use before you need a rest. Cantrips, however, are spells that you can use all the time. Prepared spells are the ones that you get to use and have ready for the day, and I know this looks like a lot, but it's essentially a checklist. We'll fill this out only if your class needs it. Over here is our story section. This is where we can write about who our character is, what they care about, and how they act. Appearance is exactly what it sounds like. Equipment is what you're carrying, languages are what you speak, and coins are what you look at to realize how broke you are at that moment. And that's page 2. If page 1 teaches you how to play your character, page 2 just supports everything around it. For this video, we're focused on getting you playable. Alrighty, time out. Ability scores, modifiers, skills, proficiency, saving throws. I know it's a lot. Let's take a breather, absorb, and give that writing hand a little bit of a break. In the meantime, it'd be really great if you hit that subscribe button. I'm posting these videos every Friday, and it'll help keep you tuned in for next time I drop a video. So I think that's long enough. Let's get back in there and finish out this character. All right, let's go. So in the description below, I've got a couple of helpful links that you can use while you're building out your character. So right now, we're going to make sure we get our class, race, and background pulled up and in some tabs so we can use it as quick reference to fill out our sheet with. You can find those in the respective links below. To keep things simple and fun, today we're going to be building a dwarf barbarian, aka my very first character, Gregor Stoneanvil. We met him last video, but I wanted to give him a little revamp. So let's head back to page 1 and start building this character step by step. I've got 3 tabs open right now. The dwarf species on D&D Beyond, the soldier background as well, and the barbarian class page. And if you're following along, have your species, background, and class pulled up too. Now I'm at the very top of the character sheet. I'm filling in the character name, the class, and level. Level 1 barbarian, and the background is soldier. If you plan to use XP, you can find it here, but you don't have XP right now since we're just starting out at level 1. Now I'm jumping over to the dwarf species page. I'm scrolling down to dwarf traits, and first thing I'm looking for is the creature size, which in our case is medium. Next, we'll add our movement speed. Dwarves have a speed of 30 feet. I'm writing 30 feet directly into the speed box on the sheet. Next are the special species traits. These are dark vision, dwarven resilience, dwarven toughness, and stone cunning. And in your case, whatever applies to your species that you're using. I'm copying these traits into the species traits section on the character sheet. I'm not rewriting the entire text here, I'm just summarizing what I understand so I don't need to keep rereading a whole page later. And that's it for species. Next up, I'm moving over to the soldier background. This section does a lot of heavy lifting, so I'll slow down just a little here. First thing I see is ability score options. For soldier, the options are strength, dexterity, and constitution. I get 3 points total to place here. I can do 1 point in each, or 2 in one and 1 in another. In this case, I'm putting 1 point into strength and 2 points into constitution. I'm not adding the numbers yet. I'm just marking this with small dots, 1 in strength, 2 in constitution, so I remember to add them later. Next, the background gives me a feat. In our case, it's Savage Attacker. Each background will have its own unique one, so take a look at it, see how it fits into your build. I'll be writing the feat name into the feat section on the sheet. And I'll also make sure to summarize it again for ease of use. Now, skills. Soldier gives proficiency in athletics and intimidation. I'll select those in my character sheet here and check them so I know I'm proficient or trained in it. The numbers will come later. Next are tools. This means you're good at using the tool, not necessarily what you're holding right now. In my case, it's a gaming set. This can be some playing cards or a chessboard. I'm writing that in under my tools section. And finally, equipment. The background gives me starting equipment and some gold. I'm writing the equipment on page 2 and adding the gold to the coins section. And that wraps up background. We're breezing through this. Now I'm moving over to the Barbarian class page. I'm starting at the top with the core class traits. First thing, a Barbarian uses a D12 for hit points. That is the highest hit die you can have of any class. At level 1, that's just 1 D12. I'm writing that into the hit dice section. Next, saving throw proficiencies. Barbarians are proficient in strength and constitution. I'm checking those saving throws. Again, checked means proficient. Now, skill proficiencies. Barbarians choose 2 from the list. I'm picking survival and perception. Next are weapon proficiencies. I scroll down to proficiencies. Barbarians are trained in simple weapons and martial weapons. As a side note, simple weapons are typically things that you can just pick up and use, a club or a spear. As for martial weapons, you need a little bit more training for that to use it effectively. That's going to be more your long swords and pole arms and all the fancy stuff. Armor training is next. This is up here, still in the proficiencies box, so I'll check light armor, medium armor, and shields. Now, starting equipment. I can either take gold or the equipment package. I'm taking the equipment. I'm choosing a maul instead of a great axe. It fits Gregor's style of play a little bit better, and this is something that you can always ask your DM about. Most DMs are going to be happy to work with you if you have some cool ideas for a character. I'm adding all of that equipment to page 2 over here. Now, class features. I'm adding level 1 features because that's all I have right now. I'm writing in Rage, which is one of our main abilities as a barbarian, Unarmored Defense, and Weapon Mastery into the class features section below. That ability to use shorthand is going to come in clutch here because a lot of abilities and features have really long descriptions to them, so take the time to figure out what's most important that you can either remember or what you need on the page, and if you ever have questions, just ask your DM. They usually have a pretty good understanding of the rules and skills and stuff, so always lean on them if you have questions. Special note, there are some features that reference the class table page. This is where you can find a lot of how your character grows over time and as they level up, as well as give you a roadmap for future abilities down the road. In my case, I need to know how many times I can rage, which is 2. How much damage I get while raging, which is 2. And how many weapons I can master at one time, which is 27. No, I lied, it's 2. But these numbers go up as you grow in level, so check the table and see where it leads. Once you're done writing down your features, you can close all the tabs and it's time for the scary math part. I'm sorry. It's really not that bad, don't worry. We'll be working on the left side of the page here, and this is where you can find your ability scores. There are 3 common ways to get your ability scores: standard array, point buy, or rolling. Rolling is usually done by rolling 4d6 and dropping the lowest, and repeat this 6 times. Add up all those total numbers, and if it comes to 72 or higher, you're good. Anything lower, you may feel a little underpowered, so talk with your DM, sometimes bump it to 75 if you really want to feel strong. Point buy gives you a pool of points to spend, and honestly, there's a lot more math involved with that one, so I usually don't recommend it for beginners, especially on your first character. What I do recommend for beginners is standard array. You have 6 numbers: 15, 14, 13, 12, 10, and 8. And you can add these however you like. If you're unsure which ability score to prioritize, check your class page and it should state a primary ability. I also recommend not to put your lowest number in Constitution, just because that determines your health, and if you care about this character, you'll want to keep them around. Friends don't let friends, don't Constitution. I'm assigning these on what matters most to a barbarian. My primary ability is strength, so that's what I'll be prioritizing. My breakdown looks like this. Strength gets 15, Constitution gets 14, Dexterity gets 13, Wisdom 12, Charisma 10, and Intelligence 8. Gregor is not winning trivia night, and that's okay. Now I apply the background bonuses from earlier, 1 point to strength and 2 to Constitution. Now we calculate modifiers. For every 2 points above a 10, you gain +1. So 16 is +3, 14 is +2, 12 +1, 10 is just a 0, and once you go under 10, you start going into the negatives. So 8 is a -1. Odd numbers stay the same as the previous numbers modified. So if you have a 9, it's still a -1. If you have an 11, it's still a 0, and so on. Modifiers are the numbers you actually use in-game. The big scores look cool, but modifiers get results. Now we can talk about proficiency. At level 1, proficiency bonus is +2. If there's a dot next to a skill or a save, add +2 to the modifier. If there's no dot, it remains just the regular modifier number. That's it. Now I fill in the remaining stats. These depend on the final modifier, so that's why we leave them last. Hit points, or HP, is determined by your Constitution. On your first level, you get to use the maximum number of your hit die. In our case, we have that big old D12, so we get a maximum 12 plus our Constitution modifier of 3, giving us 15. But since we are a dwarf, we have that feature, Dwarven Toughness, which grants us 1 more hit point at the moment, so our total is 16. Initiative comes from Dexterity, so for Gregor, it'll be a +1. Passive Perception is going to be a 10 plus our Perception modifier, which, since we're proficient, bumps it to a 13. Now I add my weapons. In the equipment, we have established I have a maul, a pair of hand axes, and a short bow. I'll write my attack bonus next to it, which is my ability modifier plus my proficiency. Hey, Sir Bearsworth, what ability? A good general rule is everything uses strength unless it's specified that you can use dexterity with it. Long-range weapons such as short bows, long bows, crossbows, bows will use dexterity. So, my attack bonus for my maul and hand axes will be 3 from my strength and 2 from my proficiency bonus, equaling out to 5. For my short bow, however, it will be just +1 for my dexterity and that proficiency bonus of the 2, equaling 3. You can find your weapon's specific information, such as damage, damage type, and properties in the weapons link below in the description. Damage is calculated by your weapon's specific damage die, plus the ability modifier used for the attack. So for my maul, I actually get damage dice, which is 2d6 plus 3, and the damage type is bludgeoning, cause bonk. Keep adding in your weapon specs and you're done. And with that, guys, you have built your very first character. I can't wait to hear all about the awesome adventures that they'll have. Drop it in the comment below. Let me know what you made today while watching the video, or what you plan to bring to the table. If you want to take Gregor with you, I have links below where you can get the 2014 and 2024 versions of his sheet. If I manage to make the building process a little bit easier and decipher all of the crazy boxes that are on the character sheet, leave a like. It would mean a lot. If you really enjoyed the video and want to stay tuned, make sure to subscribe. I come out with videos every Friday, so be on the lookout as I come out with some videos explaining how you're gonna use the character you just made. But that'll be for next time. For now, I'm Sir Bearsworth, guiding creators, shaping worlds, and forging heroes. I'll see you at the table.